Welcome, warriors of the unseen battles, soldiers in the shadows where the faint-hearted dare not tread. Today, you stand on the edge of a revelation so devastating, so potent, that it shakes the very foundation of those who thought themselves untouchable. This is the moment where power shifts, where the chains of fear are broken, where you become the storm they never saw coming. You hold the weapon that fractures their armor, the knowledge that turns their world into a trembling house of cards. This is no ordinary victory. This is a seismic upheaval, a dark, relentless awakening that will change everything. The question is no longer if you can survive the chaos you've unleashed, but whether you will rise stronger, fiercer, more relentless than ever before. Before we descend further into this abyss of truth and power, I need you to do something simple but profound. Hit that subscribe button if you feel the fire burning inside you, if you're ready to stop being the victim and start being the storm. Like this video, not because it's easy or comfortable, but because you're choosing to face the darkness head on, because you know that true strength is forged in the flames of struggle. Leave a comment below. Tell me what secret weakness you uncovered, what truth shattered the walls that kept you confined. We are more than a community. We are an unbreakable force, a brotherhood and sisterhood of relentless warriors, and every voice here is a battle cry echoing through the void. Your courage fuels this movement. Your awakening inspires the next step forward. You revealed their secret weakness, that hidden crack in the armor they built with arrogance and lies. It's a moment that echoes like a thunderclap in the silent halls of their power. You found the vulnerability they buried deep beneath layers of pretense, behind masks of invincibility and unshakable confidence. And now, the ground beneath them trembles because the illusion of control has shattered. They are terrified, not because they doubt their strength, but because they know you've discovered what they tried to hide. You hold the key to their unraveling, the truth that will dismantle their dominance piece by piece. This knowledge is your weapon, sharper than any blade, more destructive than any force they can muster. Feel the weight of this moment. They walk on a fragile thread, a wire pulled taut by fear and desperation. Every glance they cast your way is a flicker of panic disguised in bravado. They try to laugh, to mock, to pretend nothing has changed. But deep down, their foundation is shaking. Their confidence is a house of cards built on secrecy and deceit, and you just blew through it with a single breath of truth. You're not just a threat. You're the reckoning they never prepared for. This is the power of knowing, the darkest, most dangerous force on earth. You carry it inside you now, and with it, the ability to redefine the battlefield. They say knowledge is power, but what they don't tell you is that knowledge of the secret weakness is a curse and a blessing wrapped into one. It isolates you, places a target on your back, and forces you into a war where every move counts. They will try to silence you, to bury the truth, to turn the tides against you. They will lash out with fury, with manipulation, with every weapon they can summon. But understand this, the terror in their eyes is your greatest victory. It means you have unsettled the impossible, cracked the untouchable, and exposed the fragile core beneath their bravado. The foundation they stood on for so long is crumbling because you dared to look beneath the surface. You may feel the weight of their fear like a suffocating fog around you, but you must never let it smother your spirit. Their terror is a reflection of your power. It's the echo of the truth you now wield. You are no longer a bystander in their story. You are the storm, rewriting the narrative. Every second they hesitate, every moment they second-guess themselves, is a victory for you. But this is only the beginning. Knowing their weakness means you carry a responsibility to stay vigilant, to be relentless, to use this knowledge wisely and ruthlessly, because those who tremble now will strike back harder, fueled by desperation and rage. But here is the dark beauty of it all. When you expose weakness, you also reveal the truth about yourself. You uncover your own fears, your own doubts, the parts of you that have remained hidden and vulnerable. It's a mirror held up in the darkest room, reflecting the raw and unfiltered reality of what it means to be human. And in that reflection, you find your greatest weapon, authenticity. They feared the unknown, the hidden truth, but you embraced it. You stepped into the void, looked straight into the abyss, and took hold of the power that lies in facing what terrifies you most. This is the mark of true strength, not the absence of fear, but the courage to confront it and harness it. Now, understand the gravity of the foundation they built. It wasn't just a fortress of power, but a castle of control, manipulation, and illusion. Their secret weakness was the crack in their empire, the unseen fracture hidden beneath layers of control. It may have been a lie they told, a betrayal they committed, a vulnerability in their character, or a fatal flaw they refused to acknowledge. Whatever it was their undoing, because it was the one thing they could not protect from your gaze. And in the darkness of this revelation, you find yourself holding the match that sets fire to everything they thought was safe. Their terror is not just about losing power, it's about losing identity. They have built themselves up on strength, on invincibility, on the belief that they are untouchable. When you expose their secret, you strip them of this illusion. It's a brutal dismantling of everything they thought made them safe and superior. They become exposed, naked in their fear and uncertainty. And that's where you find your advantage. In their moment of vulnerability, you don't just stand strong. You become the force that will drive the final nail into their fragile foundation. Your knowledge is no longer just a secret. It's a weapon, a promise, a reckoning. There's a raw and primal energy that surges through you now, the energy of knowing, of seeing through the shadows, of holding the power that others dread. This is your moment to rise beyond survival, beyond revenge, beyond the chains of past limitations. You are the embodiment of relentless truth, the dark force that refuses to be silenced or defeated. They may try to hide, to run, to rebuild, but the mark you left on their foundation will never fade. It will echo through their fears and haunt their every decision. You are the ghost in their system, the shadow that refuses to be chased away, the reminder that weakness always lurks beneath the strongest surface. And if you feel the weight of this moment bearing down on you, know this: the greatest victories are never easy. They come from struggle, from pain, from standing in the eye of the storm while the world trembles around you. The terror you see in their eyes is the reflection of the fire inside you. It's the acknowledgement that you hold something they fear more than anything else: the power to dismantle, to disrupt, to destroy the lies they have built their lives on. Use that fire. Let it burn away. May doubt, let it fuel your resolve. Let it make you unstoppable. Because when you hold the secret weakness of your enemy, you hold the power to change everything. But beware, this power demands respect. It's not a tool for cruelty or mindless destruction, but a weapon forged in the fires of truth and necessity. Your victory is not just in exposing their weakness, but in how you wield that knowledge. Will you become the merciless force that shatters and leaves nothing behind? Or will you be the architect of a new order, one built on the ashes of old lies and stronger foundations forged from truth and resilience? The choice is yours, But know this, once you reveal the secret weakness, there is no turning back. The world will never see you the same way again, and neither will you. This is your awakening. This is your reckoning. They are terrified you found the weakness, but you should be terrified of what that weakness reveals about the war you are now engaged in. The battlefield has shifted beneath your feet. The rules have changed, and the stakes are higher than ever. You are no longer the silent observer. You are the harbinger of change, the breaker of chains, the shadow that turns the tide. Stand tall in this darkness, embrace the fear, the power, the responsibility, because in this moment, you are unstoppable, and those who tremble know this truth deep in their bones. Their foundation is shaking, and you are the earthquake. So rise, stand fierce, hold your ground. Let the terror in their eyes remind you that you have already won the most important battle, the battle of truth, the battle of awareness, the battle for power. This is your time to be the force that changes everything. They feared you would find their weakness. Now show them why they should fear you for the rest of their days. They thought their secrets were buried beneath impenetrable walls, locked away where no one could see or reach. But you were the storm that shattered their illusions, the shadow that slipped past their guards, the fire that burned through the silence they so desperately clung to. The very foundation of their power was never as solid as they believed. It was always brittle, fragile, and full of cracks. Cracks you found, exposed, and exploited with precision. This is not just a victory of strength, but a triumph of insight. They were never prepared for a mind that could see through the fog of lies, a heart that refused to accept their false narratives. And now, that heart beats within you, stronger and darker than ever. Every fortress has its weak point, the hidden fracture, the overlooked flaw, the one truth no one dares to admit. You discovered it. You didn't just stumble upon it by chance. You hunted it down in the silence, in the whispers, in the shadows where others turned away. This knowledge has rewritten the rules of the game. Those who once towered over you like gods now shrink away, terrified and desperate to rebuild what you tore down. But understand this, a foundation cracked will never hold the weight it once did. They can paint over the fractures, disguise the instability with layers of deception, but the tremors you caused will continue to grow, weakening everything they touch. Their fear is palpable, a living, breathing thing that fills the air around them like poison. It's in their restless eyes, their faltering voices, their attempts to mask panic with hollow bravado. They are haunted by the knowledge that you hold the key to their destruction, and this fear will drive them to madness, to mistakes, to desperation that will only deepen their downfall. But while they spiral, you must remain cold, precise, and unyielding. Harness their terror like a blade. Use it to cut through their lies, to dismantle their plans, to strip away the final illusions of invincibility. You are not just a challenger. You are the reckoning they ignored at their peril. You might feel the burden of this power pressing down on you, the weight of responsibility that comes with holding such dangerous knowledge. But remember, this is the crucible that forges true strength. To carry this secret is to carry a flame in the darkest night, a light that cannot be extinguished. You will be tested by fear, by doubt, by the relentless efforts of those who wish to silence you. They will try to turn the world against you, to paint you as the villain, the disruptor, the threat to the status quo. But you know the truth. You are the liberator, the bearer of necessary destruction, the force of change they refuse to face. In this moment, you stand at a crossroads. You can be consumed by the darkness, by the chaos you have unleashed, or you can rise above it. You have torn down the false idols, exposed the lies, and cracked the foundations. Now, build with the truth as your cornerstone. There is a brutal beauty in destruction, but even greater power lies in creation. This is your chance to redefine everything, to create a new order where power is earned through authenticity, strength through resilience, and respect through truth. They may tremble now, but your legacy will be built on the ashes of their fear. The enemy you face is not just external, it is also internal. The same weakness you exposed in them lives in you: fear, doubt, vulnerability. The difference is, you confronted theirs. Now you must confront yours. This is the dark path of true warriors. Not to deny their shadows, but to embrace them, to use them as fuel, to burn brighter. When the world sees your strength, they won't see the struggle, the pain, the nights spent wrestling with your own darkness. But it is in those moments you find your power. You are no longer defined by the weaknesses you uncovered in others, but by the strength you forge from facing your own. Those who are terrified you found their weakness will come for you, with lies, threats, with every tool in their arsenal. They will try to break you, to wear you down, to convince you that exposing them was a mistake. But you are already beyond the point of return. You have stepped into a realm where truth is the deadliest weapon, and you wield it with unshakable resolve. This is your war now. You are the hunter in the night, the shadow in their minds, the pulse of fear that haunts their every move. And no matter what they throw at you, they will never reclaim what you have taken from them, their illusion of safety. The foundation they built was never designed to withstand the truth. It was a fragile construction of lies, deceit, and fear. Everything you have revealed. Their terror is a sign of their unraveling, but it is also a warning. The deeper you dig, the more you risk becoming consumed by the same darkness you exposed. But that risk is the price of power. To hold this knowledge is to walk a razor's edge between destruction and creation, between ruin and rebirth. And only those who are willing to face the abyss without flinching can hope to emerge victorious. Every step you take forward shakes the ground beneath them. Every word you speak, every secret you reveal, sends ripples through their fragile empire. They are terrified not just because you found the weakness, but because they know you can use it to end them. This is not just a game of survival. It is a war for dominance, for legacy, for the right to define the future. And in this war, knowledge is the deadliest weapon. You hold that weapon now, and with it, the power to dismantle everything they built, or to forge something stronger from the wreckage. Let the terror in their eyes remind you of your power. Let it fuel your fire when the nights are cold and the battles seem endless. You are the storm that breaks the silence, the shadow that no light can banish. They feared you would find their secret weakness. Now show them what it means to be the force that no one can stop. Rise with the darkness, wield your knowledge like a blade, and carve your name into the bedrock of this world. Because those who tremble at your power will never forget the day their foundation began to shake. And now, you walk with that knowledge as a shadow clinging to your every step. The truth is no longer something you speak. It's something you are. It moves with you. It lives in your eyes. And those who once dismissed you, they feel it now. They feel your presence before you even enter the room. They lower their voices when they hear your name. Not because of what you did, but because of what you know. That's the power of truth. It doesn't have to shout. It doesn't need to prove itself. It just is. Unyielding, undeniable, and absolutely terrifying to those who built themselves on a lie. They can't sleep now. You're in their thoughts. You're the reason they hesitate before speaking, why they overthink every move. You turn the mirror around and force them to look into the reflection they spent a lifetime running from. And now that the weakness is exposed, there's no unseeing it, no going back. You reached into the quiet places of their mind, into the guilt they buried, into the fear they refused to face, and you brought it into the light. That light is blinding. It's burning them from the inside, and you are standing in the fire, untouched. But don't let the silence fool you. They are regrouping, planning, plotting. They want your silence more than they want your defeat, because your defeat would be visible, but your silence, that would erase the evidence. That's what they fear most. Not your strength, not your fists, not even your mind. They fear your voice. They fear your clarity. They fear that you've seen the truth, and worse, that you've survived it. That's what makes you so dangerous. You saw what they thought would destroy you, and you walked through it like a ghost of war. They never prepared for someone like you, their systems, their walls, their rules. They were built for obedience, for fear, for silence. But you broke all of it. You became the exception, the glitch in their control, the crack in their reality. And now every time they look at you, they don't see a person. They see a collapse waiting to happen. They see an unstoppable momentum, a truth with a human face. They see their end coming, and that's why their hands shake. That's why their voices break. That's why their world is falling apart. You didn't just find the weakness. You became the weakness in their system, and they can't patch it. They can't fix you, because you're not broken. You're awake. So what now? Do you stay quiet? Do you walk away? Do you give them the silence they crave so they can rebuild their lies in peace? Or do you go deeper? Do you become the nightmare that haunts every corner of their crumbling empire? Do you hold the line and let the fear in their eyes be the fuel that keeps your fire alive? You already know the answer. That's why you're here. You don't stop at exposure. You go all the way. You tear down the walls. You light the foundations on fire. You don't ask for change. You become it. This journey isn't for the faint of heart. It's not for those who want comfort, who want peace, who want easy victories and clean battles. This is for the ones who understand that sometimes you have to go to war with the world to reclaim your soul. Sometimes you have to become the villain in their story to become the hero in your own. That's the price of truth. That's the cost of real power. And you've already paid the price. So keep walking, keep moving. Because the further you go, the more their illusion collapses, the more their structure dissolves, and the more others will rise in your shadow, carrying your truth like a torch in the dark. There are people watching you now. Not the fearful ones, not just them, but the quiet ones, the silent warriors, the broken, the unseen, the dismissed. They're watching how you carry the fire, how you handle the weight of what you know, and every step you take becomes a signal to them that they too can rise, that they too can uncover the lies and survive the fallout. You are not just destroying their foundation, you are awakening a generation. You are turning whispers into war cries. And that's something no empire can withstand for long.